Hi, this is Suzanne from EFT Scripts, and what I want to do is I want to talk to you about confidence today. And you might see me rolling this plasticine, and what I want to do is to show you this plasticine that's a perfect sphere. Okay? Most of us are born pretty much happy and confident, but as life happens to us, a teacher, for example, telling us, "Oh, don't worry, dear, you'll always be good at football," or "Oh, don't worry, dear, you'll just marry someone who'll like you," making us think we're stupid. Maybe this is when we spoke up quite innocently to a parent or an elder and we were shouted down in flames. And maybe this blue one here is when I had my first job, a colleague of mine stole from the company and they all blamed me, and so now I'm always nervous at work. Maybe this is a sister or brother who bullied me, and goodness, can you see this so-called perfect sphere is no longer perfect? All these things happen to it. All these bits of marble were stuck on this sphere and now it's become imperfect. But these marble bits, they are no longer on this sphere, they're gone. But this sphere is still the way it is. It's still an imperfect sphere. It's got, if you look very carefully, you will see it's got indentations. See, imprints of all these events that happened. So, this is what EFT removes. EFT doesn't remove the events. Sorry, these tend to roll. EFT doesn't remove the events. What it does is it removes the dents that the events have left in the sphere. So, what it does is it changes the energy of the sphere in a very specific way. EFT knows how to roll the sphere back into the perfect shape that it was before. Or we can pretend that's perfect. My rolling isn't that fantastic as my EFT is. So what EFT does is it takes those indents and one by one it fixes each indent. So the indent, the imprint that, for example, the teacher left on me, and I'll give you something from my real life, a real life example, okay? Something an imprint a teacher left on me. And I remember when I was at nursery school, my first school, at nursery school, a teacher that I really looked up to, I felt like she was almost a mother to me. And she had a problem with language because, a long story, but basically it was assumed that I was brought up speaking 2 languages, whereas actually I was brought up speaking 1. And the English was a language that I wasn't brought up speaking, something I heard when I was a baby and I really related to, but I didn't speak it. I spoke Arabic, so I was half Arab, half English. And this teacher who was English, just like my mother, I really warmed to her, and I thought she really liked me. And I really, really loved this teacher and looked up to her, would do anything for her. And she was the English teacher, and she gave me this Janet and John book to read in class, and I couldn't read it. I couldn't understand the language. And she just took the book out of my hand and she put it in the bin. And that really dented my confidence, For many, many years, I had a dent in my confidence. I felt like, oh, I can't really, I'm not English enough. I'm not, which is crazy because genetically I'm half English. I'm not English enough, or I'm not not good enough at reading. All that kind of stuff. I'm not good enough. People will criticize me. People will find some fault in me. And when I did EFT on that event, EFT removed the imprint that it had left, excuse me, in my mind body. Excuse me, I should have a drink of water. I've been talking all day. And so I just thought today, after doing an EFT workshop with people, I was very, very successful, to come along online and share with you this experience, because it came to me, oh my goodness, why don't I let people know about something I've worked on successfully with EFT? And it may seem like a very silly incident. The teacher was wrong. She was being abusive. Although in those days, as you can see, I'm a little bit older, in those days it wasn't seen as abuse. But she was in the wrong. She shouldn't have done that. But still, I had the indent, and now I no longer have the indent. I'm here talking to you about it quite happily. So what EFT does is we stimulate certain acupressure meridian points. I'm not trying to act like a monkey. There is a confidence button at the top of my head that I can press. And when I use special wording with this confidence button, it releases imprints that dent my confidence. And I must say, there are no imprints that dent my confidence. Okay, maybe one or two that I'm not going to work on them publicly because they involve someone else, and that's not fair on them. But otherwise, I'm a pretty confident person, and I feel worthwhile. And so all of these are special buttons that we stimulate. They're special points on the acupressure meridian, and we stimulate them as we do something very specific to connect us to that imprint and release one imprint at a time till we have the perfect sphere of confidence. So if you're ever worried about how to work with confidence, I'd say, don't worry about putting suggestions in your head how you can be positive and strong and all that. All these suggestions are great, but they do nothing about the imprint. They kind of cover over the imprint. It's like putting a tissue over it. If you put a tissue over it, this is a tissue. You put a tissue over something, and eventually that tissue isn't strong enough. So, it can, as you pull about with it, it can fall apart again, and then you wonder, where's my confidence gone? But when you actually go to the imprint itself and roll it back into place, and you have that perfect sphere again, then you have your confidence back, the confidence that maybe you haven't had since you were a baby, or maybe you haven't had since you were 5, or since you were 10, and since you were 20, or whenever it started to happen. And we all go through knocks in life. We all could do with more confidence. We all could do with standing up for ourselves and getting what we want, and feeling, yes, I have a right to ask for that. Yes, it's okay to do this. Yes, I am worthwhile. And that's great. It's just really great to be in that situation, to be in a group of people and not feel they're looking at me, they're judging me, they're thinking badly of me, or what can I say next to interest people in the conversation, or if I'm giving a presentation to someone, to think, oh no, will they know that I can't operate the equipment properly? What am I going to do? Or what are they going to say about me? Or, all of those things, they just fall away because they're all imprints. And we don't need to cover them up with bits of tissue anymore. You can now just let go of the imprint. Completely gone. Roll the sphere back into a perfect sphere and enjoy feeling confident and doing what you want to do and being the strong person that you know deep down inside you are. I hope this explanation has gone some way towards helping you understand how EFT works. EFT is short for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and I would rather call it Energy Freedom Tapping, because it just doesn't work on psychological stuff. It's really an amazing mixture of wording and acupressure. It's the mixture that makes it work so well. And so I hope you will investigate it for yourselves. And I wish you all the strength and positivity in the world. You are worth it. Or at least I think that you are. Bye-bye now.